I was thinking about doing the opening for Shane Dawson's YouTube videos. He goes, "Hey, what's up, you guys?" Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm doing the intro this time because I made Luke make me do it. That didn't make any sense. This is bad. I'm Melissa. Who are you?
I'm Luke.
And this is Plot Unknown.
Yes, it is.
This is the podcast where one of us picks a movie that the other hasn't seen, and they write a summary about what they think the movie is about based on simply just their previous knowledge and the title. Then we watch the movie, and then we come back and discuss it, and discuss what they may have gotten right about their synopsis, what they've gotten wrong, and our general feelings about the movie.
Yep. We also rate it.
We rate our summaries and how accurate they are, and we also rate the movie.
Yep.
So far, Drive has been the best movie we've seen so far.
Also, one of the least accurate.
What do you mean?
One of the least accurate summaries.
No.
We got a 2 out of 10.
Okay. I had a
0 for Black Christmas.
I had a 1 for Black Christmas.
Oh, because you said it was Christmas.
I said it was Christmas.
It's kind of a
I probably
gimme
should
point.
just probably get a 0 though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my synopsis for Drive was way closer.
Yeah, and I guess I also got a 0 for Cool Intentions.
Yeah, you're being so rude.
I'm not being rude.
I at least knew he was some kind of getaway driver.
That is true.
And that's the T.
You can't really pick up that you drank anything.
Wow, put your phone on silent.
Sorry, I'm really unprofessional, and I don't know what we're doing.
I thought you were going to say really popular. I'm glad that you didn't, because it's not true.
Well, welcome to Plot Unknown. Today is episode E.
Yeah.
Episode 5.
Yes, it's my turn to pick. Do we go ahead and say?
Actually, before that...
Yes, I'm sure you have something else to say.
So, just a few housekeeping things. We are no longer going to be uploading our episodes onto SoundCloud. At least the day they come out, they will not be on SoundCloud.
Because SoundCloud only lets you upload so much, and their monthly subscription is very expensive.
It's fucking $15.
And we're college students.
Yep.
So, fuck that.
Yeah, so typically we'll be able to stay under the maximum amount of allotted time that you can upload for SoundCloud. But because we uploaded 2 episodes in 1 week, it's not going to work out that way. Yeah, so everything's going to be the same. We're going to be on Spotify, which, by the way, we're on Spotify now.
Oh, yeah, we're on Spotify as of yesterday?
Yesterday.
Cool.
We will still be on Spotify. We will still be on iTunes. We are working on getting on Google Play. Having a little bit of difficulty with that, but that's Google's thing.
I don't work over there in that area. That's your area of work.
That is my area.
My area is being pretty and
Instagram.
And Instagram.
Yeah, so for you guys who don't listen through SoundCloud, everything will be normal. If you do listen to SoundCloud, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to Google Play maybe. We'll keep you updated on that.
Keep you updated.
Eventually, we should upload it to SoundCloud, but it will probably just be in a week or so. So just be aware of that. And then other than that, I don't really think I have anything else.
Yeah, I mean, go follow us on our social medias. We're on Instagram at Plot Unknown. We're on Twitter at Plot Unknown Pod. I made a Facebook page, but I didn't set it up very well, so I'm gonna have to go back and do that. But again, it's just Plot:_Unknown. And everywhere else, it's just Plot:_Unknown. Spotify and iTunes, you just need to type in our name. Or, like, if you know our titles of our episodes, which is always like, A is for American Beauty, B is for Black Christmas. It's always like that, so...
Yeah, so go follow us on social media. Go subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere. Email us at plotunknown@gmail.com.
Your fun stories and maybe some suggestions. That'd be fun.
Movie suggestions.
Maybe
how bad we
email
are.
us your summaries. We can do we can pull a My Favorite Murder and do like mini episodes of just reading people's
or if we
summaries.
Get enough, we can just add them onto episodes.
That's true. Whatever.
Yeah, so do that. Also, this is asking a lot. Please leave a rating or a review
to us
on
also.
iTunes. It really helps out. Yeah.
Is that your shoe? Squeaking?
Yeah, it's squeaky shoe.
Squeaking shoes.
Yeah, so do that. And with that said, I now don't think we have anything.
Pass it over to me.
I'm passing it over to you.
Great.
Baton passed.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I got it. I caught it with my hand. One hand. It's pretty cool. I mentioned this probably like twice before, probably in the past like 2 episodes, about how I was really, really excited to do Enchanted for E, because that's one of my favorite Disney movies, and it's super underrated and it's amazing. But Luke has seen it somehow. I don't know how, but you know, whatever. And so then I was going to do a suggestion from our friend Maggie, but I'm changing my mind and I'm doing a suggestion from my good friend Shay. I'm going to put this in quotations. I watched, that's in quotations, this movie with Shay, but I very accurately fell asleep during it, as I do during most movies.
That is in character for you.
Not that movies are boring. I just get very tired when I become horizontal. It's a disease that I have. So we are going to watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay. I have not seen this movie, but I know of this movie. I don't know the plot, but I know it's Jim Carrey.
Yes, Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet.
In like depression.
The Depression era?
Isn't it about depression?
No.
Somebody dies? No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Again, I've technically seen this movie, but I also fell asleep during it. So what actually happens? So you really don't know. Yeah. I mean, I know the plot of the movie.
Okay.
I don't remember if anybody dies though. I hope not.
That works.
We'll see though.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to set myself a timer. We'll go ahead and get started with the 5 minutes.
Write it up, boyo.
By the way, if you have not seen this movie, go watch it. Please. You will be so out of the loop.
And it's Jim Carrey, dude.
Everybody loves Jim Carrey.
Have you seen The Grinch? Stole Christmas?
Yes, I've seen The Grinch. I've seen that movie with
Dang
you.
it.
We've watched that movie together.
Oh.
What about The Mask?
I've seen parts of it.
What about The Mask 2?
No. I didn't know there was a second one.
It's called Son of the Mask. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
No, it has a kid, I think. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
All right. 5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go.
So go.
I did. I thought maybe you were a nut. But you were excited.
I wish he'd stayed.
I wish I'd stayed too. Now I wish I'd stayed. I wish I'd done a lot of things. I wish I had stayed.
Hey, banana, hey, banana. This is gonna be the intro. You're not even looking at me. Let's go. Stop smiling and let's go. Yeah.
All right, well, we're back. It's been 5 minutes.
That was the longest 5 minutes of my entire life.
I stopped 30 seconds out, and I had a text to write, so I was writing it.
It's fucking rude.
Yeah, so while Melissa was making a video for our Instagram.
I was holding a bag of meat.
Bag of meat.
I
was writing a
bag of meats.
Plot for
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Oh, Jixie, I said ow. What'd you say?
I hit.
You said ow.
Thing, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it.
Read it.
We got Jim Carrey as a middle-aged white man, and then in parentheses, in the movie or real life, huh? Good joke, right? End parentheses.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Anyways, he and Kate Winslet are friends who have some romantic connection. Like, you know, they're kind of a will they, won't they kind of thing.
Okay.
Anyways, he works at a shitty job and starts to experiment with drugs to try and cure his depression because he's depressed. Mm-hmm. All middle-aged white men are depressed.
Yeah, I can
That's
relate.
why there are midlife crises.
Yeah.
That's why people buy boats. You don't buy a boat unless if you're depressed.
Boats,
also,
motorcycles.
Motorcycles, yeah. Boats, also accepting boats, motorcycles, and RV. 1877 cars.
I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
They also accept real estate, by the way.
Cards
for kids. 1877 cards for kids.
Donate
those
your
kids
card
today.
You said donate those kids today?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
That's an old joke. Anyways, he ends up realizing some things while high, and then in parentheses, because movies love to make drugs seem like they open up your third eye. In parentheses.
Let's not get into it. I'll get mad.
And realizes that he's in love with his best friend, who is Kate Winslet, who has also become concerned with his drug use. He struggles with kicking his habit to be better for his newfound love, but she finds another man.
Oh, shit.
And then after a long third act of him trying to get her back, they eventually realize that they're meant to be for each other, get married, and love, 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 love.
We should probably write Screenplays.
We should.
Because
We've
that
written
is
some
a
really fucking good movies.
fantastic. I'm not saying it's accurate.
I don't
I'm
think
not saying
it is.
it's not accurate, but you know, it was good.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a 3.
Okay.
What was that face?
That's high.
That's
Just
high?
Yeah, just in general, it's high.
You got 1 point for guessing that it was set in Christmas
Okay,
when
well,
the name
then
was
I
Christmas.
said I probably should put 0.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna
not,
give
I'm
myself
just saying
a
that
3.
could be totally right. I don't know. I fell asleep during that movie.
I'm gonna give myself a 3.
Or do I know? Okay, whatever you want to do, Mr. Man.
Well, what?
When I said that, I thought of a movie, and I don't remember what movie it was.
I don't know either.
Mr. Man.
All right. Well, we are gonna go
Princess
watch
Bride.
the Princess Bride.
My name is Inogo Montoya.
Prepare to die.
Go,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
father prepared to die.
All right. Well, we're gonna go watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You should as well.
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey.
Is this on Netflix? I know it used to be.
It used to be. I don't know if it still is.
Well, if not, go find it somewhere.
I had to.
Watch
I
it.
didn't mind. I had to rent fucking Drive.
You did Rent Drive. It was worth it. It was worth $4.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so go find it, whether it's on Netflix, Hulu, something, some sort of streaming
iTunes.
service.
iTunes movies.
I don't think we're technically allowed to condone streaming it illegally.
But if you happen upon a pirated website where it might happen to be, whoops.
Yeah. We might accidentally click a link ourselves and watch
The movie.
a movie. Yeah, accidentally. Not intentionally, but accidentally.
That's how I watched all of the 50 Shades movies.
That's how we watched American Beauty. We were just looking for Netflix. We typed in Netflix.
And a pirated website came up, and we were just like...
We just said, hey, I think this is Netflix. I've never been on this website before.
Slipped.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We will see you in just a second.
Roll the intro music.
We don't have any intro music.
Oh.
It's a clip from the movie.
Roll the clip from the movie.
Thanks.
Jolie? What if you stayed this time?
I walked out the door. There's no memory left.
Come back and make up a goodbye at least. Let's pretend we had one. Bye, Joel.
I love you.
Meet me in Montauk.
Welcome back. Plot unknown. Luke, Melissa.
That's all you need to know.
Yep. Episode E.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes. Jim Carrey.
Kate Winslet.
Yep.
Keep going. David Cross.
Shit. Hulk.
The Hulk, yes. What's his name?
Bruce Banner.
No. Lucas.
Mark Ruffalo.
There you go. Kirsten Dunst.
Yes.
Elijah Wood.
Duh.
Duh.
How did we forget about Elijah
Duh.
Wood?
He was a little pussy boy, that's why.
He's a little pussy boy. Okay.
Pussy boy.
I got the plot summary right here.
Let's hear it, BB.
A man, Joel Barish, heartbroken that his girlfriend Clementine underwent a procedure to erase him from her memory, decides to do the same. However, as he watches his memories of her fade away, he realizes that he still loves her and may be too late to correct his mistakes. That is off of IMDb. It is from an anonymous user.
It's pretty straightforward and exactly what the movie is.
Yeah. So,
Solid.
With that being said, I got, I think, like a 2.
I'm sorry. Where?
Well, they realize they love each other,
Okay.
and he does do drugs at one point.
No,
Because he gets knocked out.
Okay, but that's not doing drugs.
That's doing drugs.
No, you got a 1. You can
Okay,
fuck
I got
right
a 1,
off.
fine.
He didn't do drugs. He took a drug to help him that was prescribed to him by the fucking doctor man.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
Great, thank
Got
you.
a 1.
1 out of 10.
That's better than my last one.
That's true. I mean, it was a good plot summary.
Thank you.
Wasn't right, but hey.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
that's true. It was entertaining. At least it wasn't boring.
That is true. So what would you rank this movie?
We're going there already? We haven't even talked about it.
I think we should open with it.
I don't.
Okay, we
But
won't open it with it then.
let's
So let's discuss.
we have to keep the mystery suspense. That's the word. Suspense up.
Got it.
Let's talk about it and then say.
Sounds good with me.
Great. You just want me to shut up?
Do you want me to go first, or do you
I
want
would
to go
love
first?
for you to go first, Mr. Man.
Okay.
Because this is your first time watching this movie.
It is.
I didn't remember any of this movie,
Mainly
by the way.
because you were asleep.
Listen,
Roasted.
I'm sorry, Shay, for falling asleep during this movie. It was great, and I regret it. But I watched it now, so it doesn't matter. Go.
Okay, so the main thing that pops out to me is that in the beginning of the movie, because you and I said that we were going to try to make an effort to go in chronological order, which I
Yes.
don't think is going to end up working. But
No,
we're going to try it.
Okay.
In the beginning of the movie, when they're on the train, and they are talking to each other for what you assume is the first time, when we learn it's not actually
Yeah,
the first time.
that was my confusion.
We, like, all of the cuts in between each scene of them talking, not even each scene, each shot of them talking is, like, really jarring, and it gives you this, like, really confused kind of, like, not really knowing where you are kind of feel, and I think that carries on throughout the entire movie, because I feel like there are a lot of really jarring just cuts in this movie that make it a little bit difficult to kind of figure out where you are.
Doesn't it, like, I guess I never really picked up on that, but does it cut from, like, it's still the same, like, scene, like, it's still the same setting, but does it cut from, like, different parts of the setting?
Are you talking about in the train scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay,
in the
that's-
train
yeah.
scene, it'll cut mid-conversation to another different shot of that same conversation.
Yeah,
and it's
but,
not
like, in a different part of that train.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So a lot of times when you're filming dialogue in a movie, you're going to have the camera angle be over a person's shoulder or, you know, in their POV or something like that, or showing both characters. That scene in particular on the train just jumps through everything.
Yeah.
It'll go from 1 second, like, looking at Joel or looking at Clementine to over the shoulder to, like, a wide shot to just really bizarre stuff, and it is really jarring, and I think that's intentional. And I thought that was really cool.
You use jarring so many times.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, I guess I never picked up on that. There was such a long break between the first half of the movie and the second half of the movie that we watched.
Yeah, you had to go to work. I had a lot
Yeah.
of time to think about
Yeah, see,
what was going on.
I had to think about work stuff. So we watched half of the movie, and then I had to work. I only worked for like 4 hours, and then we came back and just finished it. So
Yeah, we've recorded so far out of what 5 episodes, we've recorded 1 on the same day, and that was Black Christmas.
yeah,
That was
because
it.
we have like I haven't had a full day to like do
I haven't
this
either.
shit. Yeah, we haven't. Anyway, yeah, I think so. My opinion at the beginning of the movie, chronological order. The beginning of the movie, like the dialogue was so strange and so it almost seemed forced. It was weird. The first thing I thought of was how pretentious this movie was at the very beginning.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
can see that.
This is a pretentious movie. It like obviously it came out before Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but with her whole hair thing, that's like the first thing I thought
in
of. It's like that
2004.
fucking manic pixie dream girl where she's like, I change my hair color like every week.
Yeah,
Get
you're like,
used
are you
to
actually
it.
Ramona Flowers,
Yeah, I
or
was
are you
like-
something else?
No, I mean technically Ramona would be Clementine because
Yeah, that's
timelines. But yeah, I was just like, it's another one of those. I mean, I love Scott Pilgrim obviously, but it was just like cringy.
Yeah, no,
And it
I
was
got you.
boring for me. Like the beginning of the movie, like the very beginning is super boring. It's like one of those that's just like I wanted for it to like. That's probably why I fell asleep the first time. Is I
Because you just wanted it to move on. Oops.
yeah, I just wanted it to move on. But like when it did, it was like so interesting.
Yeah,
So
and I think
it kept my attention after like
Yes.
the first like I think like 8 minutes.
once he goes
I
to
was
sleep.
like-
Yeah. So.
Well, no, because like when he was like talking to the doctor, when he found out that like Clementine had erased her memory, was like when it started getting interesting. Because you start like understanding what's happening and like the plot of it and
Yeah.
everything like that.
I totally agree with your point on the dialogue seeming really forced, and I think we can relate that back to American Beauty, because we kind of had a similar discovery
Yeah.
in the way they delivered those lines in American Beauty.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things I said to you as we were watching this movie is I said, well, the first thing I said is this is the most normal I've ever seen Jim
Carrey, yeah.
ever.
Yeah. When they starts getting into like his like the dream sequences, like the memory sequences, is when you can start seeing his like silly like persona
he becomes
again.
more. You can see him. Jim Carrey has like a very specific acting style, and you can see that in the way he moves a lot.
Yeah.
For example,
and his facial
yes,
his facial.
he always does a.
Yeah.
There's what scene was it? There's a scene where he's hunched over. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's looking for something and he's just hunched over. It plays it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it always reminds me of like Bruce Almighty.
Yes, because he does that in Bruce Almighty. He does that in
The Grinch.
In The Grinch,
you see his own mannerisms in The Grinch. The one with Zooey Deschanel. Oh no.
The one where he.
Yes, Man. Is that what it's called?
Great movie, by the way, but not what I'm thinking of. That is what that's called. I'm thinking of the one where he's on the TV show. He doesn't.
Oh, it's the Truman Show.
Truman Show. There
See, I don't remember. I've seen that movie, but really,
he does that kind of whole like you know everybody knows how Jim Carrey acts.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so specific to him.
Mm-hmm. But that's so true is because like at the beginning of the movie he's like a totally different person.
Yeah, he's
it's
so
like who is this
awkward.
actor? Yeah, and then you can see him like. I mean, obviously he's playing a character, but you can also see his own mannerisms in the character.
Yes.
Which I guess is like staple.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to you.
Are you burping?
Yeah,
away from the mic. You know what that reminded me of though?
Chocolate Rain. Yeah, Chocolate Rain. I'll move away from the mic because I have to breathe.
I'm glad you knew what I was talking about.
No,
okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going.
What I was like saying about what I said to you during the movie is when they went out on the ice for the first time, and you're like she's trying to get Jim Carrey to go onto the ice with her. He is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like the entire up until the opening credits, which by the way are like
20 minutes. No, it was 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's
in the
crazy.
Movie is awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But up until that point, he is so uncomfortable, and like it makes you uncomfortable.
He's not comfortable until he gets in like the car after they leave the ice scene.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of like I was about to get into symbolism again. Because like
a lot of that.
She Clementine is always in colors.
Yep.
Like very colorful, and Jim Carrey's Joel is always like in Joel's always in like very bland colors. He's always in like browns and like dark blues or black. Yeah. And like there's always like a white setting, like because there's always snow, and there's always snow and like sand and the ocean, which always has like the white foamy. Yeah.
Or like when they were in the Barnes and Noble towards the end, we're already getting out of what we were talking about. And it's when
the white lights
about,
following
we
them.
should try again and that stuff. All of the books, I don't know if you noticed this, all of the books are turned facing with the pages outward, so it's all white.
Oh.
Like it's such an easy thing to notice. But I looked and I said, we talk about symbolism a lot on this show. We talk about colors a lot on this show, and I know that means something.
Yes. That's crazy. And the white light follows them.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of color in this movie. Actually, no, there's not a lot of color in this movie, but the color that there is
vibrant.
So
and
yes,
very,
it's vibrant
like,
and it's very intentional.
I love when her hair is like that tangerine orange. Oh my god, I want my hair to be that color
like Haley
so
Williams.
bad. Yes. Oh my god, when it's in the pigtails, bro. I love that.
She looked like Wendy.
I love
from Wendy's.
The Wendy's girl. Yeah. It's like Wendy, like the fast food. Sorry, I was shaking my knee. Hey, how about you go fuck yourself?
That's fucked. Yeah, so
love it.
Let's see, where were we? Opening credits. One of the things that you and I also talked about is the fact that once this movie gets going.
It gets going.
Like
Drive, but less action.
But Drive like gets going and then ends.
Yeah.
This movie gets going and is on for another hour.
So you still have an hour left.
You're just like, what the fuck is gonna happen in this next hour?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because like when I left to go to work, we had watched it for an hour, so there was still like 48 minutes left, and it was like the movie could end at any point, which is so weird.
It could have.
Because I couldn't picture what else could happen, like what could happen for the next like 50 minutes, but.
Yeah,
it all comes together.
I think that something that's really interesting is that like when you're going through that movie, you kind of start to form the picture of what the ending will be, or like you kind of start to get the idea of, oh, the beginning of the movie was actually the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you
See,
kind of start
you
getting
made
those
that connection
ideas.
for me. I mean, I kind of got that. I'm sorry. Stop looking at me like that.
Keep
Fuck
hitting the
off.
table.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I had knees that creak and hit things.
Started making that connection for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And but I think that even with that connection made, you still don't know like how this movie is going to resolve.
Yeah, because like you only have like a certain point. Because like when at the very beginning, when the past or like the present stops and it's the past, you know what I'm talking about? Like it's the beginning part and it's when they meet for the second time without knowing each other, and it cuts to the past and how they got their memories erased.
Yeah.
When
And it leads you to believe that that's the future.
Well, it is the future. But then when you go, I know what you're talking about.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
But when the past gets brought back up, like when they meet again for that second time and they go on the ice and then she goes back to her place to get the toothbrush and everything, you see how it ends from there.
Yes.
And like it continues on because you don't really know how it could. You have no idea how it's going to continue.
Yeah.
And they get the tapes back and they
And
listen.
then you're like, oh shit.
Dude.
And
I couldn't imagine.
I think that one of the really interesting things about this movie is that it kind of decides to ignore a lot of things and decides to just kind of leave you to imagine and like fill in the blanks. Like, for example, in the very end memory when they're in the abandoned house together and she's talking about like, oh, I wish you didn't leave and all of that. And you're like, I've never even heard of this situation before. I don't know when this was brought up.
What do you mean?
Nowhere in the movie prior does it talk about how he left to go back to the bonfire at the night that they very, very first met.
Yeah.
It never says that. And then it springs it on you and you're like, okay, so if he left, then how the fuck did they get together? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like, it
yeah.
kind of leaves so much of their relationship
Because you don't know
up.
how they got back together.
Yes, it leaves so much of their relationship up to just kind of question.
Yeah.
Because you only see bits and pieces of it. You see really good parts and you see really bad parts, and you just kind of have to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Especially because you're given no timeline as to when those bad parts are with the good parts.
Yeah, you don't know if
So-
it's like at the very beginning, all the good parts, like when people have their honeymoon phase, or if it's all sprinkled in.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
talking
I
about?
think that that's what's so interesting is that you kind of create what you think is your own story like that. And
Yeah.
I also think that they do the same thing with Elijah Wood's character because they just kind of ignore him at the end. Like he talks, you see him start in the beginning when he comes up to Joe for the first time. Joel for the first time, sorry. And he knocks on the window. He's like, hey, what are you doing here? And he says, I don't know. And then that's it.
And then he's
That's
like,
that conversation.
oh, and then, he comes back and he like, because Clementine comes back to her house like all angry and everything. She's like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't care about Patrick. She feels something in her head that's missing and she doesn't know what it is, but she knows that Patrick isn't the person
Yes.
that's missing.
Yeah, and I think that like it doesn't really do like it shows you what is happening with Patrick, and then it just kind of ends it there. It's like you don't really
Well,
like
he's not
who
a main
gives a shit
character,
about him,
yeah. He
you
doesn't
know?
really care.
And I think that that's really interesting. I also think it's really fucked up, that you in this world can erase memories of people.
I want to get into that because I feel like a lot of this movie, like emotional wise, is very opinion based.
I agree with that.
Because, I mean, I would think that some people would never want to erase their memories, and I know like a lot of people would like to erase their memories. So I want to dig your brain for that. But what were you about to say about the memories? Sorry.
But, with your point, I think that like there are like in my life, I don't think there's memories that I would really erase.
Yeah.
Like
well,
I don't think there's a person that I would say I want them erased from my brain.
Yeah, because like I mean I'm the same way because I mean we've both had like extremely hard like people be involved in our lives, but that always like shapes you to the person that you are. And like even though those memories like really really suck and they hurt, they always like they shape you and they help you get to like the next thing that's important.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm
I think
saying?
that in this like all of the kind of things that surround, I don't really know how to phrase what I'm about to say. All of the things that surround all the memory erasing in this movie are so like they're touchy because David Cross and his wife
Mm-hmm.
don't want
Girlfriend.
to tell Joel that she had her memories erased. I mean,
Yeah.
David Cross does, but he's David Cross, so who gives a shit? But like, she doesn't want him to tell him, and fucking the wife at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the big head dude with the doctor.
The doctor?
Yeah, she's like, don't be a fucking monster. Like, tell the girl what happened.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that there's,
Everybody has to, like, forget along with that person. They
Yeah.
can't mention it, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I think that there's
Because
a
that's
little
not
bit,
their responsibility.
Yep. And I think that in the world of the movie, there's a little bit of a stigma that goes along with, like, forgetting somebody.
You feel sorry for them almost.
Yeah, you feel sorry for them because you feel like they don't know something that you know. Like, you think that they're dumber than you, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
So, you know, I think that that's, like, a really interesting thing. And to bring it back into, like, the real world, I don't think I would ever get memories of somebody erased, you know?
No, I mean, like, I feel like a lot of the memories, at least relationship wise, because like there was that woman in the rating room that was like trying to get her dog erased from her
Why
memories.
the fuck would you get your dog erased?
Listen, maybe it's her only friend. Anyway.
Then you would want to remember it.
Okay, well maybe he got like mauled by something.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what you're saying, but I'm just, devil's advocate. But anyway, I think the main thing for a lot of people, and this is said with Clementine's character, that she's very impulsive.
Yeah.
I think these decisions are very impulsive because you get hurt so bad and you want those memories, you want your hurt to be erased. You want it to go away. And so people that are impulsive, if it hurts so bad, they'll do anything for it to stop hurting.
Yeah.
So they'll go and get their memories erased. It's not like they have this is like a really weird comparison, but when you like go to get like an abortion, really weird comparison, they like make you like wait like a little bit so you can think about it.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be really good in that doctor's sense for him to be like, I get that you're upset and I know you want your memories changed and we'll do this for you if you want, but you need to have a specific period of time where you can think about this decision.
Yeah.
Because I fully think if like Joel, I was going to say Jim Carrey's character, Joel, yeah, had time to think and like sit down and think about everything like he did when he was going through his memories when he was asleep or like drugged, I guess. He remembered how much he loved Clementine. So I feel like if he had that time,
Then
he
he
might
wouldn't
have
do it.
already have done that. Yeah, we might be,
Yeah, I
get
agree.
his memories
And-
erased.
All right, we had a little scenery change.
Yeah, sorry if that was a weird cut right there. We had to come to my house.
Yep, we're back.
They didn't even know we were gone.
No, they didn't. They never knew. They
All
never
right.
know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what I was talking about is the fact that the whole movie is pretty much based around Joel's, like, his impulsiveness, and it kind of like, so if he wasn't impulsive about his decision to erase her from his memory, then they wouldn't be in this position. But it's funny that,
Well,
like,
same thing with her. I mean, she was also the really impulsive one.
well, no, I know, but it's funny that anytime they talk about impulsiveness, they focus on Clementine's impulsiveness, and they
And
never
not
talk about
his.
Joel's.
Yeah, dude, I feel that. That's what. Okay, now I totally remember what I was gonna say, in regards to what you said, is that at the beginning of like his memories and him explaining to the doctor why he doesn't want her and his memories anymore, it paints Clementine to be such an awful person.
Yeah.
Like it makes her seem like she's the only one that fucked up in the relationship and she was crazy and she was like an obsessive girlfriend. Well, maybe not that, but she was a shitty girlfriend, not obsessive. She just, and
Yeah, which isn't the case. Like,
No.
as you go on through the movie, you kind of realize that they both are not very good.
yeah. And I don't think they appreciated what they had. Which
Yeah,
is
they
obviously,
didn't appreciate what they had until they lost it.
That's what always happens, my
Yep.
dude.
And then in the end of the movie, when they're kind of like, well, I'm going to get bored with you and you're going to end up hating me, they're just kind of like,
Let's do it.
whatever.
Because
fuck
I
it.
think they know, like, even if their memories were a waste, even if their memories were erased, I feel like deep down they knew that they were like, I don't want to say meant to be together, but like
No, I think they
meant
were
to be together.
Yeah, I think they were meant to be together, and I think that the movie kind of tries to point that out by the fact that they were able to reconnect, even with their memories being erased.
Yeah. I think that's like the main I guess the main point of the movie is that like even though they had their memories erased from each other and they were in an awful part of their relationship, they find their way back to each other, even if they don't have any memories like in their head still of the good times. They found their way back to each other.
Yeah.
Which is so powerful.
It is so powerful. I agree.
It's cheesy, but
it is cheesy, but this movie is like cheesy in a really good way.
Yeah, it's not like cliche cheesy. It's not like, no offense, it's not like the fucking Nicholas Sparks like cheesy ass movies. It tells like it's a unique situation, and the way they tell the whole meant to be together story is really unique and not anything like I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I agree with that, and it's a really refreshing, like sappy love story.
Yeah, it is. It kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
I think the parallels between this movie and Scott Pilgrim go really deep because Scott Pilgrim is kind of the same thing. It's like a unique fucked up love story in the same way that this is.
Yeah, no, I think there are like a lot of similarities because I mentioned that the whole hair thing.
Yeah.
That's silly. But yeah, because I mean, in Scott Pilgrim, you know, the 7 evil exes that he has to defeat. And in here, it's just like the weird thing of wanting to erase their memories. But then the cool thing about this movie is that you get to see the memories as they're being erased.
Yeah.
Which is like the cool cinematic thing about it.
Yeah.
And you see how like each affected him. And then you like go along for the ride of like him trying to put Clementine into different memories so as to halt the memory erasing process because it's only targeting specific memories.
Yeah, it's targeting anything that involves her.
Yeah, and so if he puts her into a memory that has never even she has never been in, like he brought her back to his childhood a lot because that's where all of his like memories without her are, I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's pretty cool.
And I think that, so, you know, in the show we touch a lot on, like we already talked about symbolism, and also we talk about like the cinematography of movies. And I thought that a lot of the shots and cuts between not the dream sequences, but like the memories were really interesting. Every single time that that Clementine disappears from one of his memories,
it's like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like either the camera cuts away for just 1 second and it comes back and she's gone, or she just disappears entirely. She just disappears,
yeah.
And it's so it
tells the story because that's you have no confusion as to what just happened. She is gone and this is why.
And it's so visually intriguing, and then right when it hits you that she's gone, the next like 2 seconds is a cutaway to another memory that she's already in.
And I think it's really cool that she kind of becomes a part of the whole process because he's making her self-aware. Yeah, I mean he's making her self-aware. It's not actually Clementine, obviously, it's his subconscious, but it's really cool how she starts interacting with him, trying to get him to put her in different memories and everything like that.
I think that one of the best examples of what we're talking about is when she first becomes kind of self-aware, or, you know, the self-conscious or whatever, and they're in the forest, and she tells him to open his eyes and try to wake up. He wakes up for a second, and then
he can't move his body, but he can see.
Yep. And then they embrace, and he puts the leaves over them, and then it cuts to when they're laying in bed together. And
that's the end of that scene.
Yes,
like the end of that memory.
The conversation that they're carrying basically flawlessly goes into the next scene.
Yeah, it carries over.
Very obviously a different time. And I think that stuff is cool. And
that's crazy.
Another thing that I don't know if you noticed, the main time that I noticed it was when they were kids, but it was throughout the movie in general. A lot of the times in the dream sequences, there would be like a dub over of like a narration almost of a conversation between Joel and Clementine, but it would be playing over like the kid versions of themselves, and the mouths wouldn't be moving, like the kids wouldn't be saying anything, but they would be talking, and you know that that's them talking in that form. Yeah. And I thought that, like, I think that's really cool. You see it, I think when they're coming back from the flea market, you can see them walking and not moving their mouths, and the narration is talking like they were having a conversation. And I think that is it's so cool because it's so like weird.
Yeah.
I think that's a good word to describe this movie.
It's just weird. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. Like it's a weird thing that's happening, but you totally get what's happening.
Mm-hmm. In the context of the movie, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to do it,
you don't
just
even question
randomly-
it. Like I mean, obviously I saw that. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I didn't really question it because it fits so well with the movie.
Yeah, and I think that there's so much stuff like that because you know, like the character knows and you know that you are in a dream sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're reliving these memories in this guy's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get away with a ton of weird shit. Like every time they go back to the doctor's office and people's faces are like gone, or the one time Elijah Wood's like eyes were upside down.
Yeah,
that was really fucking creepy. I think that they can get away with a lot of that stuff and you don't question
because it's in a dream sequence.
Exactly, because you know it's in a dream and you're like, okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool because they didn't like none of the fucked up stuff happened in real life.
Yeah, no, it was always just
it was all
in
the
his
dreams,
memories
so
and like how he was perceiving things.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
I agree.
And again, like going back to this, I think that one of the other really interesting things about this movie is how like there's a chronological order, but there also kind of isn't. Like it gets a little bit vague. Like
it gets muddy because again, like we were talking about, you don't know when these memories happen. You don't know if it's in chronological order or if it's just like sprinkled like here and there, and you have no idea.
Exactly. So yeah, like the memory, like you very obviously know, okay, he goes under, this is all happening while he's under, he wakes up. Mm-hmm. But you don't know when those memories are taking place in terms of when they actually happened.
Well, wait. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be from the end of their relationship to the beginning.
So like going backwards?
Yeah, because you remember the very, very end is when they met at the house. Yeah. They met at the beach party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the first memory they have is the last night together.
Yeah. Okay. So,
never mind.
No, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so kind of like what I was saying, I guess it did get bad towards the end. You know, because they did have all the good memories were like kind of all close together, where it was like that honeymoon phase of a relationship. But you don't know how long this relationship was.
Yeah,
they never talk about it. I don't think
that kind of keeps our point afloat, is that none of the timelines are like
super clear.
Yeah, they're never defined, so you don't know how long any of this stuff lasts. The only thing that is for sure is that by the morning he wakes up and it's done. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that you know for sure.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about this movie at length, what would you give it out of 10?
What would you give it out of 10?
I think I'm going to... What did we give Cruel Intentions? 6 or 7? I think we give the Cruel Intentions 7, American Beauty an 8. No. What? What did we give it?
I don't remember. I know that Drive is a 9.
Yeah. I said Drive was a 9.5. I think this is an 8 to an 8.5. I think it's an 8. I think that's what American Beauty was, and I think it's tied with American Beauty.
See, I like this movie, but it's still just one of those like manic pixie dream girl movies that doesn't interest me super much. Like I think this is a really, really good movie, and I love Jim Carrey, and I love fucking Kate Winslet
and the Hulk
and Kirsten Dunst. I love all of them, and I think the acting was great. I think the cinematography was great, but like it's not something I'd be like, have you seen this movie before? It's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, I don't think it's like changed the world great, but I think it's a really good movie.
I want to say 8, but the very first thing I thought of was a 7.
Okay, then give it a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna give it a tentative 7, and I might change my mind. Because I changed my mind with
We'll update you next week.
Christmas. What?
We'll update you next week on Melissa's.
I think Cruel Intentions was a 7. American Beauty was an 8. So yeah, I think I'm going to put this with American Beauty, or with Cruel Intentions. For me, at least, with a 7.
Yeah,
Drive was
a
9.
It's a point higher for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how. I liked it a lot, but it didn't like change my body, like in soul. I didn't feel myself.
Didn't change your body.
No, because I want a movie to like wow me, and it just
No, I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Maybe it's because I've like seen bits and parts of it before, so I knew
Bits
it
and
was
parts.
happening. Bits and parts.
Bits and parts.
Bits and parts and bits and parts and bits and parts. Good movie. You should watch it.
Yes, you should.
We didn't mention that. Oh, maybe we did.
I think we did in the very first part.
The first part.
So I think that's gonna do it for the discussion.
Yeah, I need to go to sleep.
Okay, so next week it is my turn.
Mm-hmm. Do you
We
know
got
what you're doing?
F. I do. Do you want a hint?
Yes.
Okay. We got. I'll give you an actor.
Okay.
I can't give you the director because you might know it. I don't think
I
you
don't know
will, but
directors, except for like Tim Burton and Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. You won't.
Do you know the actors? Is it horror?
No, I'm looking at it right now. So I'll give you one of the actors and the setting. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Steve Buscemi, Minnesota. I don't think you've ever seen it.
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, that's a good thing.
Steve Buscemi?
Yep.
What is he in?
A lot.
Quentin Tarantino. Is it a Quentin Tarantino movie?
It's not a Quentin Tarantino
Is it
movie. What did you just say?
Is it
God fucking
hell
damn it.
fucking yeah? I have absolutely no idea what that.
Awesome.
I have no idea what that movie
How
is
did
about.
you get from Minnesota and Steve Buscemi?
Because that's the only F movie I can think of.
Honestly, me too. All right, well, thank you guys for listening. We are
Thanks.
Plot Unknown. You can follow us on Twitter at Plot Unknown Pod, Instagram at Plot Unknown. Subscribe on Spotify and iTunes.
And
Plot
iTunes.
Unknown.
We're kind of on SoundCloud.
Kind of on SoundCloud. This episode won't be up immediately, but it will eventually be up.
On SoundCloud, yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and email us at plotunknown@gmail.com. I
You
haven't
can
checked
give
it in a
us,
couple days, but
Yeah. Give us some suggestions. Like,
I
our
would
friend
love
Emma.
suggestions.
Our friend, I don't know if she told you this because we were both texting her, but our friend Emma, who is going to be a guest on this podcast, she's fantastic.
Actually the first guest.
She is. I love Emma. She suggested that we can have people email in, and we'll do like an episode where they pick the movie.
That'd be a great idea.
So instead of just having like a guest on, we'll just have a person pick the movie that neither of us have seen. We'll both write a plot, and then we'll watch it, and then yeah.
That would be a wonderful idea. I'll
is
check
cool.
the Gmail right after we finish
Yeah,
recording
so
this
it is
episode.
plotunknown@gmail.com.
Yes, it's plotunknown@gmail.com.
.com.
Yep. So go ahead and
Dot
email us your
com.
suggestions there. Go ahead and
Yeah.
email us your plots there to movies you haven't seen or whatever
Just
you want to talk
tell
about.
us some fun stuff, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe
not-
we'll start reading listener emails if we get them, regardless of what they're about.
Ask us. We'll do a separate.
Ask Jeeves.
Mm.
Ask Plot Unknown.
Ask Jeeves was better.
Yeah,
I
but
know,
that's
but the copyright.
already a thing.
Maybe. You think it's
It
copyrighted?
totally
Wasn't
is.
that a website?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like
Yeah, you
it's
used
like
it in
Google.
elementary school before Google was really a thing. You said, "Oh, I want to ask Jeeves what the temperature is outside."
Do you remember like texting a number? Do you know
Wasn't
what I'm talking about?
that used to be
What was that called?
it's a website now. I don't think you text it anymore.
But you know what I'm talking about,
It was
right?
Quora, was it?
What?
Was it Quora? Quora? What was that website called? I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. There was like something that you could text, and like it didn't really work that well, but you could ask it a question, and sometimes it'll like text you back. I'm pretty sure that
Cha-cha.
Cha-cha, ask Cha-cha. That's what it was. Oh my God, that saved me a lot of times during homework. I had my mom.
That was before I was allowed to have texting.
Oh my. Does that show my age? That I'm a whole year older than you?
Oh my God, it's not a fucking year. It's like 8 months.
He gets so triggered. Listen, we met on Tinder, right? And I went back through our messages to look at them. And he even said, wow, it's like you're a whole year older than me. And now, to this day, he's like, you're not a year older than me. You're only a few months older than me. I have receipts of you saying it's a year. I'm a cougar.
I want the record to show that I'm not listening at all.
Yeah, he's texting.
I'm on Instagram.
It's fucking shitty. Well, fuck you, Luke. I'm gonna go to sleep.
This is the second time we've argued to end an episode.
You're still my boyfriend, though.
Allegedly. You broke up with me last episode.
Yikes. What have we been doing for the past week?
Fuck if I know.
Oh God. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week for F, which you fucking know.
Is surprise.
No. Fuck you. I'm gonna bleep out the name.
Do
so that you
not.
Can't hear it. No, I'm gonna do it because we haven't announced the movie beforehand.
Sorry
ever.
that I got it because I'm that good.
Yeah, I'm gonna bleep it out.
Do you know how to bleep it out?
No, but I'm gonna figure it out. All right. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.